Hello and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe here on HeflaTV Hitbox 2. I'm Grandis V, and I should be joined again by D Swordfish for this best of two series between HellRaisers and Moscow 5 International, formerly known as Screen Squad, plus PGG, I suppose. And, well, as far as both of these teams in this tournament, both of them, at least on this channel, have gone 1-1 versus CCK, which is actually a pretty big surprise to me. And, well, now I do have D Swordfish on the line. How are you doing?
Hello there. Happy to see now HellRaisers versus Moscow 5. I'm curious to see if Moscow 5 can bring in 2 wins or maybe none at all. It's going to be an interesting series for sure.
Yeah, definitely. For now, it's going to start things off with the Brewmaster first pick coming out from HellRaisers. No big surprises there. Still plenty of top-tier heroes left in the pool, however, as IO as well as Tidehunter Nature's Prophet are going to see the boot. You have a lot of static sound coming from the background.
Oh, really? That's weird. Is it fixed? Does it sound better?
It got worse for a second, and now it's better. Okay, we're good now.
Yeah? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry. My mic settings were a little bit off. Sorry. Okay.
No trouble.
Okay, so yeah, oh, Razor. We're gonna see Razor again. Joy.
Radiant's big.
Not the most entertaining hero to watch, to be honest, but hey, we're gonna see Scarlet Mage again. He hasn't been picked for a while, but this he's a great counter to the Brewmaster as well, so I like a pick.
Yeah, definitely. And even if you're not directly countering a hero with it, Scarlet Mage always seems to get the job done. Even with very little farm, can still do a lot of damage to the enemy team, and scales decently well with farm too, so just an all-around good support, and having that extra single-target silence in the Brewmaster is always a plus.
10 seconds to
Interesting thing I've noticed, by the way, is that IO is getting banned a lot this tournament.
5 seconds.
Is he just coming back into competitive play, or is this just specific of Battle of Central Europe?
Reserve
I
time.
honestly don't know. It's always been a pick that's pretty team-specific. It just seems that all of the teams in the Battle of Central Europe don't want to play up against it, and IOP hasn't really been out of the meta. He definitely rose to his peak during like TI3, but ever since then it's always just popping up here and there, and if you have a good Wisp player, he's a great pick, and if you don't, he's kind of mediocre. It just seems that it's a tournament-specific thing.
That's true. I don't know. Interesting to see. Because most other pro teams don't really care about IO. I haven't seen him banned at any other teams. Oh, just interesting to see. Well, what do you think? I mean, it's just hard to predict what kind of strategies any team is going to go for, really. HellRaisers is probably going to pick up a safe support right now. Just not give anything away. I don't know if anyone has a specific strategy, or they're just going to go for stable lineups.
Yeah, I think right now, at least for the first two picks, we're going to see more picks that are versatile and tend to lend themselves into multiple styles of play. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Ogre Magi coming out from HellRaisers, but they're taking a long time. Their captain is in this game, and so they're going to pick up a Witch Doctor for themselves. It's a decent pick, I suppose, but right now they don't have the best setup for that Death Ward. No Tidehunter Ravage, no Chronosphere, none of those big ultimates to really get the full duration off of that damage. So, I don't know, maybe that's why they're hesitating a little bit, and then they'll ban out the Ogre. Likewise, definitely deserving of that ban slot.
Interesting. Well, do you think Moscow should ban the Void here? Do you think it's a possible pick?
I think if they want it for themselves, which it works decently well with the Razor and the Scarlet Mage, since they have first pick, they can leave it in the pool. But if they don't want it for themselves, I say ban it and then pick something else.
Yeah, I think he should be picked or banned somehow, though. When the Witch Doctor comes out, just the threat of the Void becomes so
Reserve
obvious.
time.
Yeah,
The
it definitely
question-
does.
Yeah, the question is HellRaiser going to ban the Void just to prevent the Scarlet Mage Void combo? Yep.
They will.
There it is. They did. So, I don't know, the Witch Doctor's been a support that's been getting a lot of notoriety ever since the Void came out. Like, he just got popular with the Void, and he kind of stayed as a support because he's pretty good support. But he does need a very powerful support with him. Like, some sort of support that can offer a lot. Just like something like a Rubik or maybe Ancient Apparition has been seen sometimes. You know, those kind of supports that are just really good with nothing. Because the Witch Doctor kind of takes a lot of farm.
He does, and I think for me, Earthshaker is a pretty good one to pair with him as well, offering just a nice single target stun. Even though you'd love to have a Blink Dagger on your ES, it's not necessary. You can still get a lot of usability out of just that fissure, and Echo Slam just walking in for it. Elder Titan's going to be a choice for Moscow 5, and although usually I'm on the fence about ET, I think their draft synergizes well with that natural order, coming out with the Skywrath Mage to reduce the magic resist with its Ancient Seal, and then Razor and his ultimate taking away their armor as well. It's going to be a lot of damage coming out from Moscow 5. Currently they're lacking a little bit in the control department, but they still have picks to remedy that.
Do you think that's gonna be Elder Titan support or core?
I think it's going to be a support Elder Titan with a core Jakiro, but it could be those heroes switched. Elder Titan, he can very easily solo the offlane if the lanes work out for him, and with Enigma on the enemy side, it's going to be Elder Titan versus a dual lane, which should be decent enough, so after the Jakiro pick, I think it is going to be offlane ET.
Yeah, I like offlane AT as well because he can get he gets early. So, some levels, like he usually is able to get a couple levels, and I can get an Echo Stomp, and that's a possible really good way to counter that Enigma Black Hole, or that Witch Doctor Ultimate as well. So, I like the ET actually in this case. I like him. I think he's going to synergize well, and in addition, he's a good counter to the enemy team, and wow, and Naga Siren.
Yeah, I think this game, it's definitely a core Naga Siren for them, and they have a decent way to set up. Or decent spells to set up with that Song of the Siren and the Black Hole, or maybe even a Clap Split coming up from the Brewmaster. But outside of that, it kind of feels like just a Naga Siren for the sake of Naga Siren. The teamfight coming out from Moscow 5, it's not going to be disrupted too much by a song. It's not something that necessarily needs to be chained together. They have a decent amount of sustained damage.
Yeah, it's just I honestly like the Naga Siren pick just because of the possibility to disrupt the enemy team fight as well. The Jakiro and Elder Titan is a pretty nice combo for a team fight as well. So they can. That recent button is just so powerful, and I don't know if they're gonna pick something else to combine with Naga Siren. What are they missing? They're missing a carry, I suppose, because they're runner mid, right?
I think it's going to be an offlane hero left for HellRaisers. I think it's going to be Brewmaster mid, Naga Siren safe lane.
Oh, really? You don't think it's going to be Brewmaster? It could easily be offlane Brewmaster or carry position.
It definitely could be. But I think I'm leaning towards the latter. I think Brewmaster up against a Skywrath Mage Jakiro, that just feels like it would zone him out too much for him to get anything out of that lane.
That's true. And so, as for their offlaner, what do you think they should pick up?
I think the Puck would have worked nicely for them. Centaur might be an option, although he's going to suffer the same issue as the Brewmaster. I think getting a level 6 in Blink Dagger on Brewmaster is a little bit more important than the Centaur.
I really would never put a Centaur against Skywrath Mage, though. His offlaning potential is from the fact that you can't hit him, but Skywrath Mage can. So, I don't like putting him there. Like, it's a possibility, I agree, but I don't. We can go for the traditional offlaners. I think a Darkseer would actually work decently well here.
Yeah, I think Darkseer's pretty fair. He's a greedy offlaner to be sure, but he'd be able to get a lot more than the Centaur as well, so that could work out for them.
He's not a pick, wishful thinking.
Yeah, it is wishful thinking. It might just be an offlane Brewmaster, and then they're looking for like a mid or safe lane hero, depending on how they want to lane this Naga, and I'm leaning towards safe lane farming Naga. Up against a Razor, I don't think mid Naga would be able to get enough farm to really make use of that, and to get an early enough Radiance. I think safe lane protected farm with the Witch Doctor is the better route.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Naga Siren tends to farm weirdly with her Riptide, so I don't think she would have the biggest of issues against the Razor. She can also harass pretty well with her illusions and whatnot. Like, I've seen Naga versus Razor before, and it doesn't tend to be the worst. Like, it seems like, on paper, a really favorable matchup towards the Razor, but it really isn't. It just ends up being kind of Naga Siren if she plays decently well. She can usually get some farm. So, I don't know. It really depends on the players, and Artis is also pretty good with Naga Siren, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It really depends as well on what the final pick for Moscow 5 is, because they are missing a carry, probably.
And it's going to be a silencer. I like this choice coming out from them. It's not going to be disrupted that much coming out from the Enigma, and I like silencer much better as a safe lane farmer than as a support, and I don't know, it's going to offer them some nice control over the teamfight coming out from HellRaisers and kind of like a counter disrupt the ability to cancel that Witch Doctor ultimate as well as the Enigma ultimate globally is pretty ridiculous, as well as if you're able to catch out the Brewmaster before he gets his split off. And all of these heroes are fairly mana reliant, so especially if the Ag's Refresher comes out, Silencer could just be a thorn in the side of HellRaisers, and I think in that sense it's a really nice pick, not to mention those Glazes of Wisdom eating through the illusions of the Naga Siren. It's going to be a last pick Veno for HellRaisers, not something I was anticipating. How are they going to lane this?
I think the Venom probably is going to be put in the off lane, actually. I mean, I think he would make a much better use of the off lane than a Brewmaster. And
that's fair, but I still don't think he's going to be able to get enough. Is this going to be some sort of aggressive lane with the Witch Doctor? No, it can't be. They have an Enigma.
No, that's a dual lane. That'd be too risky.
There's no way. Right now, it just seems that...
Oh, wait. Could it be? Could it be? I mean, the players don't really indicate that, but could it be that the Enigma could go the off lane?
I would actually like that a lot better, to be fair.
I think that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I think he'd be able to get a lot more than the Venomancer. I just see Veno being constantly harassed out of lane by the Skywrath Mage and the Jakiro, and I'd love to see that coming out from HellRaisers. It's very old school, and it also might fail, but the wave clear coming out from this wave is not very good, especially if Jakiro doesn't get a lot of levels. So yeah, I think that would work out decently for HellRaisers, although you're also sacrificing your jungle a little bit because of it, so I don't know, they might shy away from that choice, even though on paper their lanes would look better. When you have a farming Enigma that's not touched, that's a completely different story. Well, to introduce our players, on the Radiant side, we are going to have Moscow 5 Int, formerly known as Screen Squad, and they also have PGG in the group as well. We're going to have Bignum on the Jakiro, ZXC on the Skywrath Mage, Green on the Elder Titan, PGG on the Silencer, and Necroman on the Razor. Okay, now this is interesting. Moscow 5, the players would indicate that this is a farming Skywrath Mage, support Silencer, support Elder Titan, farming Jakiro, and, as expected, a farming Razor. They have this flexibility, but I don't like this choice. I hope that they switch these heroes around.
Yeah, I honestly think that's just mind games here. I don't... That's a little bit of a joke, I would say. I know Screen likes these big melee strength supports. He really does, but... I don't know, man. I think it was actually really good to put out the cores being Silencer, Elder Titan, and Razor. That's such synergy together. And this is just... I don't know. I agreed. I don't really like that.
Yeah, if they go with the theoretical lanes, I really like their lineup, but this laning situation, I just don't see it working out for them and doing anything at all.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a crazy strategy. It could end up working. I mean, definitely for sure HellRaisers is not expecting that. That I can assure you.
Yeah, pretty much. And we still don't know where they're actually going to settle their lanes, even if they do stick with these heroes. Maybe it's just something that PGG's more comfortable with, and maybe he's going to be farming this game.
It could be. I mean, Silencer's usually played support, and honestly, I do like support Silencer just because of the ability to transition into carry at any stage of the game if he gets enough ganks. But carry Silencer to me is eh. Like and whenever support can transition into carry, I always think better off support then. But that's just me because I'm a support player. So what can I say? I do like if he puts him in the position of the carry though. That's a really early Ags, and that does enable really great team fights if he gets off the science and the global science whenever it should be getting off, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think if you put him in a... I really hope that it's not... That even if they run this, they don't run it with the typical roles they play. Otherwise, I'll be quite disappointed. The other team is a little bit more clear. It makes... I mean, I makes sense to have the off-lane Venomancer to me. And it will be a position one Naga Siren with a mid Brewmaster, which is fine. The only thing I see though is that Brewmaster might get completely destroyed by the Razor.
Yeah, it's a lane that you just can't win. He'll be able to get experience, which is nice for Brew, but the Blink Dagger is going to be heavily delayed. He can get some CS and survive better than most melee heroes because of Drunken Brawler as well as that Thunderclap. But still, it's not a favorable matchup by any means. And I don't know, it's a matchup that we see quite often, and Razor just has the edge.
Yeah, it just, I mean, I don't know. You talk about Naga being shut down, but I think the Brew might be shut down much more than Naga just because of the, the fact that she can she can easily spam that Riptide, has enough mana to spam it, but he does not have enough mana to spam the Thunderclap.
Yeah,
And
and I think that's fair, but I'd much rather have a Brewmaster that doesn't get farmed than a Naga Siren that doesn't get farmed, because if Naga doesn't get a Radiance at a good timing, she's going to be a liability until she does, and honestly until she gets the next item after Radiance. Whereas Brewmaster, as long as he gets his level 6, he'll have Split, which even without a Blink Dagger can still be pretty nice to have, and a good teamfight ultimate, even though he is going to be facing up against the silences from the Silencer as well as from the Skywrath Mage. I think that's still a better laning choice coming out from them. Offlane Venomancer, he's going to have a hard time, and his farm is also going to be lost. So right now I think HellRaisers are kind of set up to lose 2 of their lanes off the bat. But if they are able to make enough space for artists, Nagasarn is one of those heroes that you can't really ever count out, and can 1v5 with those illusions pushing out all of the lanes.
yeah, that actually is true, and you do want the only issue I have is that Naga Siren, if you get a farm on her, even if it's late, like the farm will still be good. You know, you really want this Radiance early, and then you can push out the lanes easily. But if the farm is late, it's still good. Brewmaster with a late Blink Dagger is useless. It's completely useless. Like a Blink Dagger past minute 23 or so, he becomes a much weaker Brewmaster. And that's the issue I have with him having in the offlane, why he's not running the offlane, because he needs a good early game and a good mid game to have a good presence, which is the whole point of Brewmaster. He's one of those heroes that scales really, really badly into the late game. So, I don't know, I would never put a Brewmaster in the lane when he's shut off. I still think his Blink Dagger will become relatively early with a Razor. It tends to happen. This matchup happens a lot, and he's doesn't get completely shut down. But Afro Ninja better be able to play really well, because this is hard. He needs to have an impact. It's why you pick a Brewmaster. So he needs to have an impact quite well.
Yeah, and I mean, they also picked him up as a first pick, so there was plenty of time for Moscow 5 to kind of work around this Brewmaster pick and give them a situation to where they can mitigate Brew's impact. Yeah, so I mean, it's not that they picked him up into like the Skywrath and the Silencer and the Razor to where he's just not able to have as great a game as he'd like to, but I still think it's going to be serviceable enough. And I think Afro Ninja is a player that can succeed, even though he's given less. Right now, we're still waiting on Goddamn to get into this game. He is apparently having internet issues of some sort. It just seems that there's always something wrong.
Yeah, it's weird actually, because there's always one player in the beginning of it all that just kind of drops. I mean, there must be something wrong with the servers. I was having server issues earlier. I know you come from some US server or something of that sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think EU is having kind of issues with Dota here.
It definitely is. This is on Stockholm, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Even though I'm from the US, I'm from Central US, I play on EU servers about half the time, since those are just the stacks that I'm involved with some friends over in Europe, so.
We are better people. I mean, oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that. No, but I get it. I can play in the US East as well, but then sometimes, I don't know,
The
sometimes it
quality
happens
of games, yeah.
yeah.
They're usually a lot better on Europe, like especially ranked. Like playing ranked in US is a pain. Like, especially if you're solo,
let's keep
because...
saying that, but I go play ranked on US East because I hate European ranked.
Aw, I like European ranked better.
Like,
I don't know, I seem to get people that actually know Dota in European ranked, and in America, there's just people that are really clowny, and everybody seems to play, like, their own game. Like, there's actually no team play. Everybody seems to think that they have to carry it themselves. So, I don't know, it's really annoying, and in US... you get the feeling that you do because everybody else is kind of in their own little world. But at least in Europe, I can play support, which I like doing a lot better. On US, I generally play, like, I don't know, Meepo Tinker, and I'm just Cancer, but that's okay.
I play support every single game, I tell you. I only rank with supports. My goal is to get to a high rank with supports, and when I go to US, just whenever, like, it doesn't happen often, but, like, 1 out of 4 games probably, people talk to me in English, and that's just... you'll understand that the feeling of getting someone not saying something in Russian in every single game I have. I'm Spanish, so I have no issue with that either. Talk to me whatever language. US East is my heaven. And then here in EU West, I get Russian, and I would love to learn Russian, but I don't have the ability to yet.
Yeah,
I'm in the process of it. Someday
yeah.
I'll be a Dota 2 master, but not yet.
I think that's the difference right there. I don't speak a word of Spanish. Well, actually, I take that back. I speak, like, 5, but that's, like, nothing. And
No,
yeah.
I like sometimes they like just because of since I've casted with all these like major Spanish casters and whatnot, like they'll say, "Oh, look, this guy seems familiar," and I'll be like, "Yeah," and then they'll play well just because I've played with these people, and I like feel so good. I love these people. The Spanish community is just such a good community if you know them.
Yeah, and the problem is I
otherwise-
can't get into it and I can't communicate. Like, they don't seem to be rude or anything. They're
Oh
just
no, they are
speak-
very rude.
It depends on the
like-
situation. I don't know.
When
Usually
I play
I'm.
with American people and they just kind of like they just barrage of insults for no reason.
I don't know.
I don't get it. It's just amazing.
I don't know. Generally, I'm not yelled at. Usually, it's other people on the team.
Oh,
But yeah,
you're the good one. You're the good player.
I'm. I don't know. When stuff like that goes down, I'm just like, I don't know, silent. I don't get involved. Mute, mute, mute. Let's play.
Wow, the irony of a caster doing that is just the guy who speaks. You know, he speaks like on the daily for other people, and then goes to a game. Nope, I'm not gonna get involved in anything. Bye bye.
Well,
It's
I mean,
beautiful.
if they're all speaking like Spanish and Portuguese and I can't understand it, there's no reason for me to try to get involved. Like, I don't know.
I think you should speak to them in Spanish. I mean, 3 words. What do you know? Like,
I don't know.
hola taco burrito. Try making phrases with that, and then
No, I know more words than that. I don't know. It's just stuff here and there. Like, okay, so in elementary school, I was in Utah, and
Yeah.
so I learned French. And then I moved here
Oh.
to Texas, which
Uh-huh.
everybody's learning Spanish, but I was already like indoctrinated in French, so I only picked up a couple words, and then I did French in high school. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I speak somewhat French too. Not good though. Don't try it. Don't try it. But
yeah, my accent is terrible, but I can at least understand what they're trying to say. You know?
yeah, no. Me too. I'm kind of in the same boat. Like they won't understand me, but I can understand them. I feel like a spy, you know. But yeah, I get it. I get it. It happens. It's amazing though. Like the kind of need for Spanish you have in Southern America. I mean, like Southern United States.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. Like to me, it really is because it's because like Spanish people have a tendency to go to other countries and not learn their language because we're bad people. Just quite plainly, we just don't want to do it, and it's just like wow, and Americans are kind of saying, fine, we have to adapt to them. There's too many of them. It's just
Kind
so
of. I don't know. It's a useful tool. Where I'm at, it's not too terrible, but okay. So
you should go to Florida. Oof.
yeah, that's where it gets really mandatory.
Seems like they're having issues. By the way, they're calling the admin to go on Skype, so you know, go. You can go.
I'm not the admin. I'm a caster.
Oh, what? Oh, I thought you were. Oh,
I'm hosting the lobby technically, but the admin is in the Skype group.
is PGG the admin? I don't-
PGG's the admin. No, it's Bex.
Oh, okay, good. But Bex is not in the game, is he?
No, he's not. He pops in every once in a while. He'll like. There's like 2 games going on, so he comes in and out.
I'll tell him.
Yeah.
Oh well. I hope it's not something like a DDoS attack or something of the sort. I mean, it could happen. It has happened with teams, with a lot of cis teams, especially ones like they have Dread and whatnot, and they get pretty famous. And there's been a lot of I've told Bex to go on Skype.
Okay.
But yeah, it's weird. It's happened a lot. Remember I was casting what was it? I think it was the Summit, I believe. And they kept DDoSing the poor guys at versus Pro Polar. It just seems to be a thing that they do with it happens a lot in the cis scene with the Russian teams with the relatively famous people and whatnot.
Okay, so we're just gonna do a remake. Hopefully it's too
Okay.
fast. Or it's
Alright.
pretty fast, at least. Bam. New lobby.
Okay, well, there it is. Hopefully this can go in soon. Are we off?
What do you mean?
Is the cast continuing? Just
Yeah.
off lobby cast.
Yep. Behind the
Yeah, but-
scenes with HeflaTV, there's not really anything that we can do about this. Like, it's...
It happens.
Unavoidable.
Sometimes it happens. By the way, look at the chat. There's a point in which HellRaisers versus Moscow 5-star, and then Russian. I think that's
mean-
Russian. I don't want to be unculturally like unsensitive.
I mean, it's Cyrillic, so.
Yeah, see, I always think, and I think, oh, that must be Russian, but then they're like, no, but that's actually from blah blah blah, and then I feel like a retard because it's true. I mean, obviously I don't know these things, but I wish I was more culturally like knowledgeable.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know. I pretty much am only fluent in English, and I know I feel like a stupid American, but
No. See, being stupid is like not wanting to learn. That's stupid. Not when you want to learn and you just don't have the time or the ability or whatever. That's just circumstance. See, that's my philosophy of the day.
it's fine to be stupid as long as you recognize it and are willing to learn.
Acceptance is the first step. No, that's horrible. That's really bad. Don't feel offended, people. Lots of people watching this though, so
Yeah.
Woo. Excited day for me.
Yeah, hopefully
Right.
everybody's connecting well and. Oh,
There should be some. I don't like in Hitbox. It seems like there's much less people talking.
well, it's because there is much less people talking.
Okay, yeah, but but I mean, it tends to happen in Hitbox games. Like, there's so many people, and then they just don't seem to talk.
Well, it's because they're not logged in. Most people don't have a Hitbox account.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I like Hitbox though. I like
Yeah.
it. It's a nice. I really like this like kind of graphics and all that stuff they have.
It's much better, like, for the casters. If you've ever looked at the dashboard, it's
Oh, it's
wonderful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
When I was doing both the last year in the Spanish one, and I had to take charge of the English one and stuff. Like, I never used Hitbox before, and it was beautiful. I didn't have to learn.
Brewmaster.
Yeah, it's just so easy and everything works nicely. I mean, no offense to Twitch, I love casting on Twitch as well, but I don't know, Hitbox is just about as good. I think the only thing that we're missing is that chat community, which isn't there. I mean, I don't know, everybody needs a little bit of Kappa in their life.
Yeah, it's true, but well, I mean, there's a limit to kappas. You should see if you ever chat. If you ever do something for like the Spanish audience and there's like more than 30 people, they'll coordinate, so they'll put memes and they have like a series of memes and a list to go through. It's beautiful. It's like I've never seen people so united into doing something so stupid.
I don't know, there's some Southeast Asian games that I've cast that have like 15,000 people and they're just like, oh, you can't control them. You just put it in slow mode and it's still terrible. Like, you can't do anything. It's like herding
I love
cats.
it though. Look at the energy of the people. It's like being part of a rave, but like a verbal rave.
No!
Don't!
Oh my
God! What? Are you serious? What are you doing, HellRaisers? What does Prishal Nash mean? Are we remaking again?
We have to. He picked Phoenix.
Why?
What a turd. Okay. If that happens again, like, I'm gonna ask the admin to do something about it, because that's ridiculous. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, that was not even on. That was just on them.
Yeah. And
You can't blame the
Phoenix
servers. on-
isn't even close to what they were supposed to be picking.
No, he random Phoenix.
He random? Oh my goodness. I suppose... Yeah.
It's not even close. It's impossible. You pick random by mistake.
Yeah, it's...
Well, it happens. I can take some trolling. It's fine. Just not too much trolling. By the way, the bot. Okay, there it is. Just kick.
Yep,
No.
I did.
Okay, good. Making sure there's no Reddit post on us.
Hey.
It's
Okay.
same guy. They lie. Do they have the same players as before?
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, if they don't, like...
No, they do.
Okay.
Wait. They got PS7 instead of goddamn, right? Because goddamn was having issues. That's fine.
Naga Siren.
I'm a little uncertain. They got a stamp.
Best show some respect to your
I think they
elders.
talked to Bex about it. Okay, no, they're fine. Okay,
Okay.
no issue here. Okay. So can we actually start the game? Is it a possibility?
I think so.
Oh,
We're gonna get into this game.
I've never been so excited for a game.
Hopefully it's a good one. It looks like we're in for a pretty nice game, although roaming potential coming out from everybody is fairly limited, so... I don't
Yeah.
know. It'll probably be pretty passive, and I think that's going to favor HellRaisers just a little bit, with an Enigma as well as an August Siren. Generally, passive game is better.
I mean, I can imagine Moscow 5 forcing a couple team fights with that combinate with the silencer and whatnot, you know? Forcing them into that position. Oh, the question now is, by the way, what lanes are Moscow 5 going to run? Are they going to run the crazy lanes or the normal ones?
I don't know. They still had plenty of time to change up their heroes, so... I don't know, let's see. Who's actually picked what? PGG's again on the silencer?
Seems like that was serious.
Yeah, that's what they're going to stick with, and it is a support silencer. He buys the wards, some sentries, and some regen. That's it. Bignum safe lane farming, 2 rings of protection, tangos. Yeah, this is how these lanes are going to work out. Top lane, it's going to be a dual lane with ZXC on the Skarath mage. No. Is he playing mid? What is this? That's a null talisman first on a Skarath mage in a side lane. That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
He gets
Honestly,
one ward.
everything about this is just weird.
Yeah, it's actually very peculiar. Moscow 5 International, they're going to go for some pretty crazy lanes. I mean, this dual lane, it definitely could work out for them since they are up against a dual lane themselves, but Naga Siren, they're expecting this to be an aggressive tri-lane coming out from Moscow 5 in. Artis is going to be farming in the bottom lane. So these lane swaps coming in from Moscow 5, they might actually work for them. Naga Siren's going to be able to do nothing up against the Silencer Jakiro lane with or without a Witch Doctor. And solo Venomancer versus Skarath Mage Elder Titan, also not a very happy situation.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. They might actually get quite an advantage just because of this surprise factor they'll have with these, I don't know what to call them really, special lanes. Because they can easily get a first blood, I guess.
Yeah, the kill potential is pretty limited. I don't know. There would have to be some oversteps coming out from HellRaisers, but if they do get caught out of position, there's plenty of damage in these heroes in order to get those kills. Maybe not at level 1, but once level 3 comes around, I think is when things are really going to start to heat up.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I actually want to see if this actually works out for them, though. They take quite the gamble here with these lanes, and I mean, now I'm starting to kind of almost like him. Like, I'm starting to like him, kind of, just because they seem... I see the logic in them. I see logic in the surprise attack and whatnot. I like the position. Oh, actually, they're going to go down bottom. They're actually going to go on Bignum. But PSM is also taking a lot of damage. That last ward is going to deal a little bit of damage, not enough. Arte is now taking quite the amount of damage as well, because he overextended ever so slightly. But he has Riptide, and they're going to be okay. But yeah, I like the Silencer support as well. I actually like him, but I don't like the fact that this is not going to be an early Aghanim is quite bad, I would say.
Yeah, I think I would have liked farming Silencer in this lane better than farming Jakiro, but either way, I think they're going to get a nice mechanism on Bignum, and this is going to show that they want to fight earlier on before Artis actually comes online, pushing down those tier 1 towers. PGG is going to get his level 6 at a decent time since he is in a dual lane instead of a normal tri-lane situation, but taking a lot of damage to the net. Long range catches him out, and I think this is our first blood, unfortunately enough. One more right click from PSM will do him in. The last word probably going to end PSM's life, but now Bignum also probably going to fall. Artis doesn't have enough mana for another Riptide. All he needs is an auto attack, and he's going to find it. There it is. And now Artis, that's going to be 2 kills that Naga Siren's involved in, and just like that, the early game is pretty much turned on its head, despite having mid lane doing incredibly well and top lane doing well. Oh, not top lane doing well, or yeah, top lane's doing well. They killed a Venomancer, excuse me. Yeah, that was completely misstep. They do have the X factor of the Enigma farming inside the jungle, but still, that bottom lane shouldn't have been dying there, and it's just unfortunate that they're able to find that net. I wasn't expecting Naga Siren to get in range. The longest cast, or one of the longer casts I've seen.
Yeah, that's true. That's the quick thing. I mean, I don't think it would have mattered that much. He might have died anyway, but he could have gone, taken a different path and gone towards the trees, used the tangos. No, sorry, here. Use the tangos over here and taking these 2 trees out. If you really want to juke anyone interested in like knowing the juking, that's a really good juke route. Easily can get you out there. But whatever. He might have died anyway. It's just that turn to the left is actually really slow on any hero, especially Jakiro. Not the best turn rate in the world.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's one of the worst, actually. Razor in mid, falling very low to a rotation of the Witch Doctor, and that's going to be enough to get the kill onto the Razor, putting an end to his free farming days. Witch Doctor dropping low because of it, but still, HellRaisers, they seem to be outmaneuvering, maybe? Moscow 5, at least in the bottom and middle lanes.
Well, the bottom line is actually, I mean, there was that one engagement, but now I think they're back to normal, and Jakira's farming decently. Actually, much better than the Nagasaki, that's for sure. So, I don't know, I think they're still not, they got a couple bad engagements in the beginning, but now I think they're back on their feet, and they're farming pretty decently as well. Also, this Elder Titan is kind of left to his own farming, which is weird.
It is.
This guy doesn't seem to be playing that much core.
Yeah, it's just going to be starting out with no talisman going into bottle next. It's a lot of harass coming out from ZXC, and the extra damage you get on arcane bolts from a null talisman, it's pretty nice. He's going to open up with Concussive Shot and Goric, but he's also going to eat the Gale himself, but Screen running in like a freight train, punching down Goric. I don't think they get this kill, but they're going to try. They're going to go down the tower, and Screen's going to take a little bit too much damage. Yeah, that's probably the wrong choice. In the meantime, Witch Doctor down bottom gonna die as the damage from the silencer's enough. Salving up, silencer surviving. Nagasaran going to be able to summon those illusions. Doesn't dodge any damage that way, but will be able to make a clean retreat. PGG, his salve isn't going to be cancelled, at least before it heals him up all the way, and in the end not going to be cancelled at all.
Huh, that's really good actually. That's bottom is finally regaining their momentum. They also got much better last hits if you look at that. So that's kind of good. And I like the position they're playing this Kareth Mage in, which that's our first kind of a core. Get a couple items. Actually, is being found out by Enigma. He's in a lot of trouble, but he's really fast. So he's gonna be okay. But yeah, Kareth Mage is kind of playing as a roaming support right now, or roaming ganker rather.
Yeah, putting a little bit of pressure onto the Enigma, although he's mostly stayed up in this top lane, he's not like babysitting or anything, and that's because Screen can handle this lane very effectively on his own. Even though it's a Venomancer and it's annoying to lane as an Elder Titan, he can still CS, and Venomancer always needs to be careful of this guy. Dropping very low, the Concussive Shot from long range, going to slow him down. I don't think he's going to die, but Scarlet Mage might try. Venomancer is still a pretty slow hero, doesn't have any creeps there to deny him, and I don't know, ZXC, he wants this really bad. I don't think he's going to find it.
Yeah, another thing I want to mention, by the way, is the fact that this Elder Titan in the core position, like, usually Elder Titan is put in the offlane, so he doesn't really farm that well, but since he's been left in this kind of sense where the HellRaisers team just thinks, oh, it's just Scarlet Mage there who's farming, this kind of alternating farm pattern these Elder Titan and Scarlet Mage are using is really smart, because it allows both of them to get a lot of farm, or, well, a decent amount of farm, and that's all they need, really. They're not super carries, but they do need a little bit of it, and actually really effective on them. So I like it, actually. I think it's a really smart choice by them. And it's going to allow the Elder Titan to perhaps transition into a decent carry. Nobody's really tried Elder Titan carry. I don't know if it's actually that badly. Like, that unviable.
He's just going to go for some utility items, probably Soul Ring after these Tranquil Boots, and then maybe a mech. Shivas, something along those lines. Just those nice auras for his team.
I mean, I can imagine him like going for Assault, perhaps. That's also a common item as well, and transitioning to kind of this kind of semi-carry-ish character, similar to how Bristleback usually played. That could definitely be a possibility.
Nice deny coming out from the rune from that Brewmaster illusion. So well played, taking Necron from being able to refill up his bottle, and a hasted Razor is pretty darn scary and could have set up some kills as well. So yeah, that illusion was about to expire. So well played by Afternoons. He's also able to maintain his CS in mid as well. Enigma, his jungle farm hasn't been interrupted at all, and on the dire side, it's one of the fastest, if not the fastest jungler in the game. So you're able to get a lot of gold, currently pooling up 1300. It's the Witch Doctor in mid, however.
They are... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Razor thrown up in the air by the Cyclone of Brewmaster, purged back down, and now Mecharan's the one to fall as the boulder runs into his face. Witch Doctor also surviving.
Alright, so yeah, you were saying about the Enigma before the mid action happened.
The thought was finished. That was it.
Alright. Sometimes I just feel like you have more to say, and then I feel bad, and then it's just there. This macro part I used on the creeps, by the way. I understand the low cooldown and stuff, but I don't know. I just think Macropie is such a cool spell, especially with Aghanims. I hope there's more potential to it. Anyway, Big Nim is now going to be stunned. He's using his Ice Path, but he's in a bad position. He is also the net has also been used on him. In fact, he could be dying, but there's Kareth Mage trying to kill the Artis, and he's going to go down. Can PSM go down as well? That Curse of Silence should be able to land on him. He's not using it, however. That's strange.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been enough since he, I don't know, would have been able to purge it off with the heal.
Does it?
I think it does.
I'm unsure because I know like things like well, I don't know. It does cost mana, right? But like Pulse Nova does not purge it off.
Interesting. Yeah, it's an interaction that I'm not entirely sure about. Yeah, I think it's completely fine that he uses the macro to farm creeps, however. It's going to be coming off of cooldown now, and it's an early Yule Scepter for Bignum, since he has been the one to get the farm, and PGG, although he's not in the lane, is still getting levels, and once he has level 6, the hump that support silencers usually have to go through is completely overcome. Elder Titan, his farming isn't going to be that significant. After the early laning stage, he's been left alone by the Scarth Mage for the most part, meaning that Venomancer is able to come ahead in this lane, but I think most surprising is that Brewmaster able to get that Blink Dagger at 8 minutes, and after not CSing well in lane, getting that kill and being involved in the secondary one as well, as mean that Afroninja does have his Blink available. PGG in mid, taking a lot of damage into the tower, and is probably going to fall to right click from PSM, going to do him in as Witch Doctor secures that kill. PSM dropping for a low, as is the Brewmaster, but they're going to be able to make their way out. But ZXE maybe not so lucky. He's going to drop a couple of Arcane Bolts, but that's not enough. The bottle coming out from the Razor is going to make sure that he survives. Astral Spirit's coming through as PSM. He's going to be tagged by that Plasma Field. Necroman's going to be able to secure another kill. Now Artist joining the fray. One more auto attack will kill off the Scarth Mage. Now eating into Necroman. Drops the net. Although slowed down, now Necroman can TP out and he'll be able to make a clean escape. No! Malefice from Dread is close enough, and now Necroman is in between two enemy heroes. They commit the Black Hole. That's probably unnecessary, but it secures Artist a double kill, and when saving up for her Radiance, that's pretty significant. Now on mid screen, being pursued by Afroninja. One more slow and one more clap of his mace should be enough to kill off screen. Will he be able to find it? He will, but now slowed down by the concussive shot. Afroninja does have an ultimate, however. He is going to be able to use it, but it's the last spell to use. Now silenced by the Scarth Mage mid-animation. He can't do anything but watch himself die and lose more intelligence to PGG. Currently only 4 stolen.
That's pretty bad, though. You really don't want to lose the intelligence. Every single point is really valuable in a Brewmaster, so you have to be really careful. Like, I'd rather commit suicide against the enemy carry than lose it against the silencer.
Yeah, I think that's fair. As long as the silencer is close, he'll still get that stolen intelligence, so Brewmaster, I don't know, just dying at all is really not where he wants to be. Scarth Mage getting in close for that silence is pretty key. We're going to see Ice Path as well as the Dual Breath Liquid Fire dropped into PSM, but the Paralyzing Cast onto Bignum is going to mean that PSM should be able to escape out here cleanly, although, Jikiro, whoa, that TP was cancelled to place a ward. Witch Doctor is still going to survive, although doesn't have that TP to get back to base.
Yeah, well, now it seems like everything's gonna kind of normal. No, never mind. We're gonna see that the Scarth Mage really wants to kill Dread. He should be able to. Concussive shot and a nice little Mystic Flare should be able to kill this Enigma, but he's just kind of waiting there. Perhaps waiting on some friends to join him as well. I mean, he's just kind of joining the Enigma party here. There it is. There is PGG. Now they're gonna go on Dread, and he's not. Wow, that was a kind of bad Mystic Flare. In fact, it's gonna be PG who's gonna die, but first it's gonna be the Enigma. What a beautiful combination by the two supports. Well, supports here. And Scarth Mage in trouble now. Gonna go down to these Brewlings, which makes perfect sense. And I think, first of all, that Mystic Flare was awful. But second of all, that maybe he waited a little bit too much for the help. I think he could have killed him alone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He could have killed him alone, but I suppose to get a little bit of extra intelligence on the silencer, it's still not worth feeding away 2 kills to the Brewmaster because of it. I think if he just got the clean kill, it would have been better for him, but then again, you don't know exactly where Afroninja is. He was farming the lane, but he has a blink and can move around very quickly. Gork up top, not going to be stomped, avoids both of those, now slowing down the screen. This is a bit of a problem for Elder Titan. Black Hole not available for 50 seconds as Global Silence comes out. Macro Power on the ground. Dread's dropping so fast with that Ancient Seal amplifying the damage. Gorik thrown up in the air will disjoint that Arcane Bolt, but now he's going to be hit by the Ice Path as well as by a clap coming out from Elder Titan, and Screen survives throughout that. Now Necroman is going to be sealing out some damage coming up from PSM, turning for the Death Ward. He's doing a lot of damage in return, but not enough to kill him off, enough to save his life, however. For Ninja, he's going to be silenced up. It's going to wear off. Now the Curse of Silence is now applied, and he can't get off anything. The Arcane Bolt, he turns for it, but can't do anything about it. That's the Plasma Field of the Razor, and although everybody on Moscow 5 International's team is low, they're all going to survive a 3-for-0 trade.
That's the magical damage coming out from Moscow 5 is so powerful. Do you think anyone in HellRaisers team should go for a pipe?
Yeah, I would have loved to see that as one of Enigma's items. He goes for the mechanism for his team, but I think leaving that for the Venomancer would have been better, and then like blink into pipe would have been a good choice as far as item builds are concerned for Enigma. Maybe just straight up rushing it. I mean, the magic damage is that intense.
It really is. It's essentially the only physical damage deal they have is really Razor though, and Silencer later on in the game. So I agree. I think the pipe is actually really great, and the mech should have gone on the Venomancer. He's getting Yules to start with. Like, that's not that great. Actually, they're going to go on screen now, but in comes Bignum to help his teammate out. The black hole's up, and it's being used on too. Screen and Bignum both stuck in this black hole, but in comes Necroman. Dread in trouble, but the reset button is being pushed, and now Artis has put everyone to sleep with that sweet little lullaby, and somehow Scarlet Mage will kill Venomancer. Oh, he just found him in the jungle. Alright. Well, Scarlet Mage really doing work. He's gonna find Afroninja as well.
Yeah,
But
this
no.
is a kill. He can't really get. Afroninja has too much HP and then has his ultimate. Unless you can kill
Yeah.
him in the duration of the Ancient Seal,
That's crazy.
it's not going to happen. And although he has a lot of damage, it's not that much. With
Oh,
Victim,
wait.
however, this could happen. They're going to open it up. It's going to be the clap. Now the split. They're going to make a turn. ZXC is probably going to fall here, eating the boulder toss, throwing the Jakiro up into the air. The extra damage coming out from these Brewlings. The Immolation Aura and the right click should do him in. One more from the wind aspect will finish him off. And now Bignum going to be hit by the secondary boulder toss and now caught in with Artis is probably going to fall. Yule Scepter is going to delay this a little bit, but it's only going to delay it. He's juking towards the right as best he can, but with the slow coming up from the Drunken Haze, one more auto attack should do him in. He's fairly tanky, has a lot of armor with 18, and it's not enough. Going to survive with 3 HP and then die to the Brewmaster.
That's pretty impressive, though. You gotta admit, like that was quite a good juking by Shakira. I was quite impressed. But something I don't understand is wasn't like Scarlet Mage was quite late on that silence on the Brewmaster.
He was. Dread going to be eating a lot of damage from that last word, now being drained of damage coming out from Necroman. Will they be able to chase him down? I don't think so. Has a mechanism as well and might be baiting, although that's a lot of damage on the Razor, so he needs to be careful. Pops the mech after one more auto attack, the Plasma Field, there's the mech, and Dread's going to be just fine. On Necroman now in a little bit of a precarious situation. The Brewmaster with no ultimate can't really do much about it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the key thing is really just as soon as Brewmaster comes into play, silence them. Doesn't matter if you're gonna go nuke him immediately. Just silence him as soon as he comes into play, because it just nullifies him so well. And Scarlet Mage has time to do so. Meanwhile, Bignum is actually fighting the Naga Siren up top and using the Macro Pass. A lot of damage on Artis, and the concussive shot coming out as well. Artis probably not gonna be able to get out of this. And wow, what was that? Oh, last word. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Jakiro just kind of had a crit for some reason.
Dire might want him.
Yeah, no, it's going to be PGG. Getting that extra intelligence away from the Naga Siren, and 10 intelligence at 15 minutes in is definitely very significant for a silencer. He's died a couple too many times for my taste, but as a support, he's done a good job getting those ultimates off at decent timing, and now he'll be able to fully transition. He's going into Force Staff first, so no fast Aghanims coming out from PGG, but eventually there is that option to have that available. Right now, it just seems that Moscow 5, they are the ones with the momentum. They're taking the towers with the Jakiro, and they seem to be doing quite well.
If PGG decides to transition into K, do you think he just rush Aghanims?
Potentially. I'd like to see him get the Ags instead of the Force Staff, and maybe just keep that Ring of Regen as casual, but I don't know. I think he is going to commit all the way to the Force Staff. It's a nice item to have on your team, but I don't know. I'm not sure if he's the one to pick it up.
I mean, I like the Force Staff, I won't lie. I think it's actually a really good item on Silencer, but it is true that it's going to take away from his Ags. And actually, they're going to go now on ZXC. He could be in trouble. He's not dealing that much damage to the enemy team. He's just going to die alone because, yeah, nobody wants to really help him there. That was actually quite a smart choice by Moscow 5, not helping his dying teammate.
Yeah. Scarlet Mage, as much damage as he can put out, he can't take very much either. He's incredibly squishy, and we're in a caught between 4 enemy heroes. It doesn't matter if they use ultimates or not. You're gonna die. Silencer up top, however, PGG's hugging his tower, but that's probably not going to save him if they decide to go for him. Afro Ninja does have his ultimate as well as a clap available, and he's looking to farm this wave. And PGG, he's dead. He's going to be netted up. He's further away from the tower, which he doesn't know it yet, but it's actually saving him quite a bit. Blink and clap. Crit from Afro Ninja, and one more auto attack. Brewmaster is going to be able to secure that one. Razor running very fast. Ultimate committed by PSM, doing a decent amount of damage, but not enough. Razor's a little too tanky for that one. Now they're going to slow up the Elder Titan, throw him up in the air, drop him back down. They don't lock him down further. There's the Boulder Toss coming out from the Earth aspect, but still Screen surviving pretty well. He's going to drop an Earth Splitter onto the ground. Will that connect onto anything? It's not going to snap back Gork or Dread. No, Gork and Dread chasing down Bignum. They're going to throw up the Enigma inside the air. Ice Path onto the ground. It's Afro cleans up the Elder Titan. Macropyre. Dread standing in it for way too long. Still the mechanism sustaining. Bignum is still surviving. The man fight is going to last as Dread tanks an entire Macropyre. Currently on the sidelines fight, Brewmaster fighting up against ZXC, which is just not a fight that he can win. Global Silence, however, might secure the death of the Brewmaster trying to TP out. He's under tower. The curse damage is going to be enough to secure PGG a kill onto the Brewmaster and a mega kill spree. Now the tier 1 tower falling. HellRaisers, it's going to be a win for them, although losing a Brewmaster at the end of that is not going to be very good for them. They need to be careful to not lose so many heroes next time, but they're getting very close to Artis being able to pick up that relic, despite backing off for Basilius and Bottle first.
Yeah, HellRaisers are actually, I mean, they're still quite in the lead. Moscow 5 was doing a pretty good job there of kind of keeping them at bay, but now the Nagasarn is going to get out of control soon enough. Like, she's going to get a relatively quick Radiance, I suppose. What's quick? Like, 20 minutes in is nice time, I suppose. Yeah. So, once she does that, she's going to farm like crazy, like we saw the Animage last game.
Yeah, definitely, and this time she's not being shut down as hard. Like, the AM, he died 5 times. He was like 1, 5, and 1. Artis might die a second time, however, is going to Manta dodge, or rather, mirror image dodge. Some damage coming up from PGG, and that might be enough to save Artis, and it looks like it will. Bignum's pursuing. He wants this Naga Siren very bad, but can't find it. Even with Fuel Scepter, just not fast enough.
Difficulties.
Yeah, and that's actually quite good. Nagasarn evading those deaths is actually quite important, so she doesn't get shut down. She's so close to that radius, she can pretty much taste it.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been very bad for them had they lost that. Right now, it's going to be a tier 2 tower push coming out from Moscow 5 in. As with the Liquid Fire, they'll be able to take this fairly easily, but the Plague Wards are annoying. Paralyzing Cask has been thrown out to help delay this as well, and Astral Spirits, either side, is pretty decent wave clear, and are going to be able to put that to good use. For now, it's a standoff until somebody makes some sort of opening available on the map.
Yep, right now, I mean, I think it's going to be Screen who's going to start this. If anything, he failed, though, so, okay. That's going to be that, and I think it might be the time for Moscow to back off. They don't want to be in this standoffish position at all, because every second for them is really valuable. And in fact, they're going to fight ZXC, and he's going to go down, only sending out signs to the Avalanche. But that Black Hole is actually going to come out right well-timed with that Nagasarn ultimate, plus the Witch Doctor also comes out with a Silencer. It's going to stop this amazing team fight. In fact, it's going to stop all of them. Avalanche, the only one still alive here together with PSM. PSM is silenced. He managed to kill off half of the enemy, half of the HellRaisers, the Moscow 5 team, and only Bignum is here. He's the only one left alive. There's a Malefice on him. He's pretty sure to be dead, but just for safe measure, they're gonna stun him and finish him off with a Thunderclap. That was quite a turnaround by Moscow 5, but they still failed at it. But you know.
Yeah, I mean, getting caught in a 3-man black hole and then being able to kill the 3 heroes that were collapsing on you is pretty impressive. That damage coming out from the Astral Spirit, they got a clap plasma field over the top of it with Curse of the Silent on everybody. That stings. And keep in mind that was also a 4v5 fight, since Scarth Mage died before that. So I'll say that that's, I don't know, pretty even. Despite Moscow 5 losing in the numbers all said and done, it's still could have gone so much worse for them. That turnaround, I think, just saved their bacon. And by bacon, I mean tier 1 tower mid.
Yeah, it's true though. Like that was actually quite impressive, and that was a pretty good black hole as well. Now ZXC in trouble. He's getting a lot of damage. In comes PSM just to ensure that this Scarth Mage dies. And wow, he really melts. Like that guy, he can't take a beating at all.
3, 7, and 8. That seems to be the hero that Moscow 5 tend to lose most often. Just caught out alone. At this point in the game, Scarth Mage just can't do anything. He has Power Treads and Old Talismans, which is a fairly stat-heavy build, but even so, his HP is garbage. Right now, with the Medallion, they're going to be able to put quite a bit of damage into this Roshan, who actually has that Medallion finished. It's on the Venomancer, he's going to reapply that soon, and they'll be able to take this fairly securely, since the Brewmaster's tanking, the Eidolons do a lot of damage. On the sidelines, they're going to catch out a Gale on a PGG as well as Necroman. They know this Rosh is going down, but with the ultimate on a Necroman coming out from the Witch Doctor, it's too much damage, and Moscow 5 in just lost pretty much any chance of contesting this Rosh. And in the meantime, Nagasaren's been farming. She's going to have her completed Radiance after one more creep wave. Even though, yeah, this is huge for them.
Yeah, it is. It's going to turn around the team fights completely. Like before, HellRaisers were already winning by a bit thanks to that Brewmaster. Now imagine when Nagasarn actually comes online, which is now. It's going to be so scary.
Absolutely. Especially when Samantha Style comes out afterwards. Artis is just going to be beast, and he's able to do things like this. He can summon those illusions, send them out to the jungle, farm his entire jungle with these 2 illusions if he's microing correctly, and he'll be able to clear that out incredibly fast. The creep wave's gone, and the CS of Artis is going to go through the roof, and it's already topping the charts. That's not going to change anytime soon, and 6-slotted, Nagasaren's probably the scariest hero in this game. Despite Silencer and Razor scaling well, they don't scale as well as a Naga.
I mean, Artis is known for being a really good Nagasarn, so including that's what he's doing. Like, you can see here is just he's playing a really good game, managing that farm really efficiently, and now you're gonna see that his farm will kind of skyrocket. He already has 1,000 gold in his bank just after like 10 seconds that he bought the Radiance.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He farmed
I
2
think I want
creep
to mention
waves
though is
and 3 jungle camps.
Tower's
Like,
getting beat
yeah.
down.
sorry, is that Silencer already has 18 intelligence.
Seen better days.
That's actually quite a lot for 22 minutes.
It's, yeah, PTG's made a good effort of being around the kills, and although he doesn't have the flashiest of KDAs, that stacks up, especially if you're the Brewmaster. He's, I don't know, not the smartest of heroes, and if he didn't have the Aghanim Scepter, it would be pretty hard. Silence onto Afro Ninja as well. Speak of the devil, he's going to jump into a lot of hurt. He has his ultimate, but the global silence is going to mean that he can't get it off. Still, he's surviving. Jakiro gets the tower destruction. No deny coming out yet. Now the song. Afro Ninja's surviving on the sidelines. They caught out Necroman, but the ultimate, it's shocking Afro Ninja. He's going to lose the Aegis. That was very awkward. Stomp also misses onto pretty much everything, so I'll just pretend that didn't happen. They're still chasing Necroman over in the sidelines. Gale connects. Do they have a way to cancel it? Paralyzing Cast is just too long of a cast animation, so everybody's going to survive except for the Aegis on Afro Ninja.
That was so weird. That was so awfully weird. He just kind of stood there, and I don't know if he realized he was taking the damage.
Yeah, I really just don't know. I think he could have been able to get off the split and fight there, but honestly, that wasn't the greatest of fights to take for HellRaisers anyway. It was the solo Razor, and outside of the paralyzing cast, he was able to TP out, and so he just found a juke spot in which Doctor wasn't able to catch up fast enough. So HellRaisers, I suppose it's space created because during the entirety of that there was some illusions farming for Naga Siren, but she was also tied up inside that fight, and we'll have to tend to her lanes as well after this, but it's boots of travel for Naga. Artis is pretty much completely online. The split push is going to be real, and once the Manta Style comes out, it's just going to be so hard for Moscow 5 to deal with these illusions. Their magic damage is pretty significant, as is their wave clear, but Manta Style Heart, even then, they're going to have a lot of trouble clearing these out. They have done a good job of warding up the enemy side of the map, Moscow 5. They'll know exactly where Naga Siren is running. In fact, just look at that map vision. That's pretty incredible. It's
Radiant's mid tower
like
getting banged up.
that zone is completely controlled by them as far as vision is concerned. Tier 2 tower top is going to follow the pushing power of Eidolons as well as Venomancer play
Radiant's
wards.
mid tower ain't doing so good.
Yeah, I mean, they have a considerable pushing power on the HellRaiser side, so that's actually quite a good point that we don't really. I mean, they can really capitalize on these team fights much more. And that's going to be a kind of a tower race here. But the Razor already has Aghanim, something I kind of missed earlier, and that's going to be quite strong if this guy's going to get the TP's going to be cancelled. And now they have equal pushing power, I think, both teams with the Razor for now. But as soon as Naga Siren gets a little bit more power, it's going to be a large split push on that team. And Naga Siren is actually going for the she's going for tier 3s.
This is really risky by Artis. He does have a song TP out if things really hit the fan, so he should survive through this, although he's going to eat an Ice Path. Macro Pirate, the Ice Path doesn't come out, and Artis is going to be able to get out of here safely. TPing back all the way back to base. It's risky for the Naga Siren to do stuff like that, but it is a level 2 Song of the Siren, so he'll be back up in 2 minutes, and Chief forces some TPs as well. In the meantime, it's the Skywrath Mage again to die to the Enigma in mid. No black hole necessary, just a rundown with some extra help from Brewmaster and Witch Doctor.
Yeah, that's on the Siren though. 2 minutes is a considerable amount of time, especially because they've been using it so effectively as the reset button as the way to set up their team fights. So I don't know, it's actually quite a valuable ultimate in this lineup because you can easily you can use it as soon as once the silence comes off from Silencer, or to stop him, before he can pull it off or anything of the sort. So in these team fights, I think that ultimate is very, very valuable. So now they have to just kind of stay off for 70 seconds or so.
Yeah, definitely. They'll definitely want to have that level 16 ultimate because of that. Currently PGG invised up. Going to be stalking the Brewmaster for now. Blink Dagger purchased by the Venomancer is going to mean that they have even more damage inside those team fights. He doesn't have the Aghanim Scepter since he has backed off for the likes of Medallion as well as the Yule Scepter and the Blink. But eventually, once that Aghanim comes out, it's even more magical damage. Right now, PSM, he's going to be walking into PGG, so they know exactly where this Witch Doctor is going. And now, silenced up, they're going to go into him. Oh my goodness, what a pause. Mid-stomp.
Pause, clearly.
Absolutely, Franker Z all over.
But notice, by the way, that Artis is kind of pushing these towers bottom. He doesn't care. Look at that. Look at that amazing push.
Yeah, nobody's there. Witch Doctor's going to die top. Sorry, I wasn't there when we unpaused. Silencer's going to take that very easily. Now with Bignum smoked up. They might be able to find some more, but during this time, as you said, Artist pushing bottom takes the tier 2 tower cleanly, and now gonna put a little bit of chip onto the tier 3 towers. It's not super significant, but that's at least 100, maybe even 200 damage that he's able to accomplish with just illusions and a couple attacks from his hero. Forces TP's back, and Naga Siren's doing Naga Siren things, almost has that Mantis style done. This guy is farming up a storm.
Yeah, he's playing proper rat Dota here. He's playing Alliance style Naga Siren, and the combination of that plus the Enigma and the Venomancer actually allows them for some quite good split pushing techniques. In addition to a very good team fight if the enemy team decides to make it. So I really like the draft here. I think it's really benefiting them, and they're playing really well with it. And now Bignum is in trouble. He's been netted, and the Radiant Seal hitting him for quite a lot. He's gonna be slowed down by a Drunken Haze, but is he gonna be able to get out? Yeah. No, I mean no. He's not. He's gonna die. Goodbye, little dragon.
Yeah. He drops as much damage as he can into the Brewmaster before he falls, but honestly, that's not that much. Brewmaster is at a decent amount of health as well. Now gonna bump into his EXE. I think I've seen this story before. It doesn't end well for the Skywrath Mage. Split comes out. He's gonna throw the boulder the way of the Skywrath as PGG's brought down by the Enigma inside the Midnight Pulse. My goodness, those two heroes, if they ever get caught out by HellRaisers, they just don't stand a chance.
It's just so sad seeing it, but it's just this is the case. They're like too squishy at this point, and obviously, like the people at HellRaisers have a great lineup to take advantage of that.
Radiant's mid tower
Yeah,
coming up.
especially the Brewmaster. Now, HellRaisers are in a position to where they can push in this tier 3 tower. They have Eidolons, they have some Plague Wards, and they might be able to get this tier 3 tower even without their Naga Siren. She has Boots of Travel and can join this push as well.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple seconds. She got her Monta style now. Her push is even gonna be even greater. She might want to split push actually. Just go for push the bottom lane. Something of the sort. In fact, that's what she's gonna do. Team fight might ensue, but they just took that tower. Just casually took the tower and then walk away.
Yeah, nothing more to it. 2-3 tower down, and now the high ground is breached. Naga Siren, she'll be able to focus down those range barracks very easily. Just every once in a while, you can drop a couple of those illusions at those range barracks. Every time you throw them out, it's like 100 damage more, and you just keep that up, and Naga Siren's going to be able to take the lane equilibrium by taking down the range barracks and then melee barracks soon after. It just seems that HellRaisers have control of this game, and Moscow 5 just aren't getting enough on their heroes. Okay, so if we look at the graphs right now, at about 16 minutes in, it was zeroed out, but after that, it's just a downward slope in the favor of HellRaisers.
Yeah, I mean, HellRaisers have been clearly taking the steering wheel. they're ever learned the passenger seat of your life or something of that sort? They're the guys in the driver's seat and then like going full throttle into the enemy base. Like they don't care at this point. They're just kind of putting in pressure and controlling the tempo of the game completely. And I mean, at this point, look, Naga Siren Illusions are going to push this bottom lane. And I don't know if they want to stay there that long, to be honest, because this bottom lane might be pushed out. In fact, Alpha Ninja tries to contest this push a lot, using that BKB really effectively. And now they're going to go on PGG, easy target, and the Black Hole comes out, but really? What? Okay. Black Hole plus Song of the Siren, really good combination. Actually, not going to go well for them. And the first thought, the Skywrath Mage will go down, then Screen might be the next one. Yet that Witch Doctor ultimate, very powerful. Bignum not even being able to TP out, and then PGG the only one left. Can he go? Oh, is that GG? That's GG.
That's going to be it, and PGG dies before the Ancient explodes. The disconnects are going to come out for Moscow 5. For some reason, the Ancient isn't exploding. There we go. Yeah, I think after that fight, it was abundantly clear the Black Hole did very little to nothing, and they still win the engagement. It's just the advantage that they've been able to create for themselves. HellRaisers take the Game 1 of this Best of 2 series over Moscow 5.
When you lose to Song of Siren plus Black Hole used at the same time, you have to GG. It's one of those times you just kind of like, you can't.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon with some more Dota coming up shortly.
See you guys.